Hi, Sophia. What do you like about using Google Classroom?
The thing I like about Google Classroom is that you get instant feedback on your work.
All right, we're here with Zuhair. Zuhair, what do you like about using Google Classroom?
I like the thing that about Google Classroom is that how the technology works.
All right, Matthew, what do you like about using Google Classroom?
I like just being able to search like the web for like answers and online research projects.
Thank you. All right, Caitlin, what do you like about using Google Classroom?
I like using Google Classroom is because I like typing instead of writing on my work. So yeah.
Well, we started in September of last year, so 2015, and we've been using it in the classroom ever since.
This is my first full year using Google Classroom. We started it last year for the last month and a half for May and June of the year, and I was so impressed by it that I decided to incorporate it as a major part of my teaching practice this year with the help of our technology support staff.
I started using Google Apps about 2 years ago, just out of wanting to simplify document management for my students. So I got into using Google Docs and slides and things like that. And then Google Classroom made its way into my classroom 3 semesters ago, and I haven't looked back.
Google Classroom just since January. Google Apps, I guess you could call it, is since 2007. I had a class of grade 11 German students, and I said, what do you want to do? Do you want to write a final exam, or how are you going to show me what you've learned? And I had used a process called total physical response and storytelling, and so they were very good at telling stories, and they felt that telling a story would show what they learned, and so they decided to create a novel. Believe it or not. So they worked in groups of 3 and created a novel front to back, and we used Google Docs at the time. We used Google Docs to write that story, and in the evening you could only edit, one person at a time could edit at the time, and we would make appointments at 7 o'clock in the evening, and we'd get online and we would look at what they created, and I would help them edit it and explore the story a little further. So, and it was very collaborative. We could see each other's stories. It was great.
The thing I like the most about Google Classroom is that it allows students to store all of their work in a common place that is not attached to a hard drive or a USB disk. I can hand something out in my classroom in the computer lab digitally, and students can begin working on it on our lab computers. In the afternoon, we could transition into using iPads or laptops, and they can access it in the same place without needing common software on all the computers, and they can carry on working on it at home on their own devices after.
I find it very easy to use as a teacher, and the students find it very easy to navigate through. It's also really great for if they're away, sick, or on a trip. I can just upload the assignments so they can access them online.
I think it's the flexibility, the ability to do so much. There's so many additional apps that you can link into the Google Classroom. The communication is really great at all levels, and just how easy it is to link your own personal documents on your computer or from YouTube. It's just very easy to
Google
use.
Classroom is great because it simplifies some things like rolling out a project or an assignment. You can curate online digital resources alongside your own material that you've got, and it just sort of packages it really neatly for the students. Not only that, I've gathered from my students that the aesthetic presentation of anything really is important, and Google Classroom looks really pretty. I know that's superficial, but it seems to engage the students, at least initially, a lot better than just like a bunch of papers might. Google Classroom has changed my teaching practices immensely. For starters, rolling out a project is really simple. Instead of having to photocopy things and get everything together manually, Classroom allows me to curate digital online resources and place them alongside my existing material seamlessly. And it's really easy to do that, and then click of a button, everyone has it. So, and they've got full-time access to it. It's also changed the way that I assess. Just for example, the other day I was waiting in the doctor's office, and while in the waiting room I was accessing student writing assignments and giving formative feedback in real time. And had students been online at the same time, they would have been able to have a dialogue with me about their assignments. So it makes things very real.
For me, it's really allowed me to embrace blended learning and encourage students to really take their education online, and for independent type projects, it's perfect. Anything that's individualized, students can now, instead of using Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, they can use all of the apps on Google Classroom and really just create their own assignments at home and take their learning in any direction that they are interested in.
Well, I use it for about 3/4 of my socials and science lessons. We upload most of the assignments that we do in socials and science, and the kids complete them online.
More transparency for my staff room. My staff, I've created a Google Classroom, and I put up what I've learned to do to keep me organized during staff meeting is put things on PowerPoint, the slides, and so that is available to staff. And then afterwards I create a question for them coming out of the staff meeting. Oh, the gamut. iPads. We're getting Chromebooks now, so I'm very excited about that for our learning commons. But our laptops, our iPads, our own personal devices. I use my iPhone. Kids are using their Samsungs. All over the map. Whatever you can find in terms of a device, Google Classroom crosses it all. It's great.
So it's very
Flexible.
Very
It's very user friendly. It's profound in that the power of collaboration and communication are profound in Google Classroom and using
We have
Google Apps.
been granted 15 Chromebooks from SetBC, so we use those probably every day. And then we also use the iPads and the school laptops.
They are using Mac stationary computers. They're using iPads. They are using Chromebooks. They are using laptops. They're using cell phones. They are using computers at home.
My classroom, I'm really blessed with having a half lab. So I have 13 workstations in my class, 13 PCs. So we use those quite a lot. But it's not enough for everyone, unless we're doing buddy activities. I find most students are comfortable using their own personal device, mostly iPhones and Android-based smartphones in my class.